Jackson for the inaugural address. What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. It is a Truth Bomb Thursday. Good God. I've got some stuff for you guys. I hope you brought your questions. Everyone is here. It's a normal start day. It is mind-numbing. I did the video this morning about just the fact that these people are evil and that they are a death cult. A death cult. Well, today, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, well, they does protest like total lying assholes. Too much. Right? Here's what they said. Quote, Cerveza bug Jim Jones juice is not associated with sudden death. That's the FDA response, folks. That's the FDA response to an American citizenry concern. The people have had it. And so I guess the government is going to address it and just say, no, there's no problem here. But the outrage is growing. I couldn't help it today. I was at work and I just looked at someone. I said, so what do you think of all these high school athletes just dying? And immediately, bam, dude was pissed off because he was a big-time high school football athlete. He said, this is bullshit. Another friend of mine talked to me on the way to the bunker here and said, you know what? She was having lunch with friends and they were all talking about it, even though no one was saying the word because it's a nonpartisan group. But they just said, what about all these people dying? And one of them said, I have a house that is being rented to 3 guys and 2 of them have died suddenly. Mysteriously, like one was a stroke and the other was a heart attack, I believe. 2 out of 3. I mean, that's an odd thing. I'm sure it's total coincidence. Folks, this is getting out of hand. It is absolutely getting out of hand. And the truth bombs need to be dropped on their heads. Period. Let's just start unleashing them, right? Unleashing. You want a truth bomb? Well, Russia says, how about some bombs, right? They are pummeling, kicking the snot out of and stuffing, right, all the missiles and bombs they can on Ukraine. Russia is just dumping on Ukraine. And they're telling the world, folks, U.S.-made tanks, quote, will burn. It's not to be taken lightly, folks. World War III. No doubts. No doubts, folks. Russia is already unleashing hell, and there's going to be more to follow. More to follow. So Poland wants to send tanks. The U.S. wants to send tanks. Germany said they're going to send tanks. What are they doing? They're guaranteeing more war. World War III, I have no doubts. Not anymore. Good golly. I mean, where do we go with this? Truth bombs. Truth bombs. Folks, even the Wall Street Journal, a left-wing rag of a newspaper. It used to be a financial paper. Now it's just left-wing shit. Even they are making fun of, poking fun at James Comey, right? The former FBI head, James Comey. His Russia probe that was trying to prove that there was Russia collusion between Trump and Putin and Russia. Even the mainstream media knows that Biden's people are just total assholes, folks. But Attorney General Merrick Garland, butthead, he's not going to prosecute, right? The alleged culprit, according to the Wall Street Journal, was a member of Mr. Comey's own team. Remember, just yesterday, big shot FBI guy gets arrested for colluding with Russian businessmen. Unbelievable. Truth bombs. Truth bombs, huh? Oh, there's a lot of them out there, folks. I don't even think I've got them all listed. I mean, how do you get this? This one is getting bigger by the minute. Bigger by the minute. The Pfizer research and development executive who was caught on camera, secret undercover camera, said that it is directed evolution. There's no directed evolution, folks. It's not evolution. It's mutating viruses, and they're directing it, right? It's called gain of function. And this guy says that the cerveza bug created in Wuhan is a cash cow for Pfizer to make money off of. Isn't that amazing? It truly is. Absolutely amazing. And Senator Johnson, Republican, is continuing, folks. He's continuing to make big waves. Well, big waves are no problem, right? If the Democrats can surf them. They need a tsunami of truth. A truth bomb after truth bomb. Well, here we go, folks. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Senator Ron Johnson on Thursday called for Congress to investigate manufacturers like Pfizer and Moderna, AstraZeneca, and the approval process for the Jim Jones juice. This was all in response, folks, to Project Veritas, whose undercover video is a truth bomb exposing Pfizer's plans to, quote, mutate the cerveza bug virus, right? According to this director at Pfizer, right, they're experimenting with this thing. They're playing with it. And so Ron Johnson, senator, says this: federal health agencies have been captured by big pharma and grossly derelict in their duties throughout the pandemic. Yeah, no shit, Senator. He says it's time for Congress to thoroughly investigate vaccine manufacturers and the entire COVID vaccine approval process. Now, here's where I step aside from the senator. Look, investigation has already been done. The expose coming from Project Veritas is done. The data is already out there. It's done. Investigation is a single step. We have the info, we have the data, we have the facts, and we have the truth. We need to move right to criminal referrals. But let's skip Attorney General Garlic butt sniffer and go right to the states and tell the attorney generals at the state level, inform them of the facts, which I'm sure they already have much of, and have them file a class action lawsuit coming from each and every state, at least the states that have a Republican attorney general. Fuck the federal thing. Let the states go to federal court and drag these guys in here. And then I say this to Senator Johnson: don't talk about it. Do it. Stop talking and do it. I want you folks here on the Prepared Mind channel, the R Syndicate, everywhere around the world. This message is for everyone. Email Senator Johnson's office and support referring the matter of Pfizer criminally creating viruses, and send that to the states to protect their people from the federal Pfizer monster. It's out of control, folks. It's absolutely out of control what is happening. I've got more for you. I've got more, and I'm expecting you. I'm asking you, get your comments down below. We got Uman in the house. He'll take your questions. He'll line them up. And after we do the opening monologue, we'll get to your questions. We do it every single day, Monday through Friday, if you're a Subscribe Star member or a preparedmind.club member. I know you've got a lot on your mind. I can't say it all or think of it all, so I'm looking to you guys to help. Let's do the questions. For now, I'm going to continue with my monologue. It's Congress. Where the fuck are they? Where is the rest of Congress? I'm tired of saying Representative Matt Gaetz says, or Senator Johnson says, or Boebert says, right? It's a small handful of active congressmen and senators that actually do anything. Where the hell is Dr. Rand Paul, who's also a senator? He should be at the forefront of this, and he has in the past been all over and even up into the keister of the little dark troll himself, Dr. Fauci. Where is he on this? Where is Senator Rand Paul? Super athlete, NFL star, Jesse Lemonnier, or Lemonnier, right? Depends on how you want to pronounce his name. Age 25, dead, suddenly dies. Send your wild guess on into Congress and say, why are we losing so many athletes, so many super athletes, so many young people everywhere, folks? I mean, there's plenty of old people dying too. It is incredible what they're doing. I talked about it this morning when I said, hey, look, this is a cult of death. They're killing everyone they can with the Jim Jones juice. And then they're saying, we want more. Pfizer's like, yeah, it's a cash cow for us. And it's mutating, and we're going to do this and that. And we're going to make sure everybody gets the Jim Jones juice. You can just see it in this guy's eyes that's been caught on camera. The guy says, don't tell anyone this, by the way. You have to promise you won't tell anyone. Why the hell is this guy telling the Project Veritas undercover investigator? You want to know why? Because it is a death cult. They are evil bastards. And they are so enamored with themselves and what they're doing and all the shit hitting the fan they're causing. They're so gleeful. They're so excited. They're just getting off on all of this shit that they've got to tell other people. They can't keep it to themselves. They're just so fucking ecstatic. Unbelievable. Take a wild freaking guess every single day, folks. I could get more and more of these people up here. It's crazy. It truly is. I want to thank Mr. Skylight for getting a bunch of information out. We've got an ex-IRS agent bombshell whistleblower. I haven't gotten into this story. I haven't had time, but it's out there and it's going to be posted at thepreparedmind.club and at Subscribestar. It's going to be there. Unbelievable what is happening. I hope that just cracks a couple of nuts in Washington, D.C. Let me roll on here. Unbelievable. An 18-year-old college freshman dies after doing a workout. Once again, folks, I mean, coincidence. How many people have to die of coincidence? Is that going to be a new label? Sudden death syndrome. Sudden adult death syndrome. Not buying it. Not buying it. Oh, boy, I tell you. I talked about all of these politicians and companies just enamored with this idea of mutilating children, right? This company, I want them emailed and text bombed and everything else. I want people never to shop at their stores again. It's called Burberry. Burberry. They're a fashion company that makes luxury crap. They're British, right? British based. They have 418 locations around the world. It specializes in leather, trench coats, footwear. You know, another one of these Versace type things, right? They love the transgender agenda. They just do, and they're posting and printing and promoting this transgender crap by showing mutilated women with their shirts off. These don't look like happy people, folks. They look sick. They look demented, and they're freaks, and they're being taken advantage of. They're being held up as this great thing, and it hails, folks. It's telling us the destruction of this culture is coming. But it's not our culture, mine and yours, that's being destroyed. It's their own, but they're trying to destroy us with them. Oh, boy, I tell you. Now, Google, employees there are being fired. Let go. And so what are they doing? They're demanding psychological safety because they've been laid off. These are full-grown infants, folks. full-grown infants. They don't stand a chance at life. Are they going to go home and live with mommy? Oh, yeah, you bet they will. They're going to go home and live with mommy. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go hug a pillow, right? They're going to cry. I bet they're even going to plan violence against Republicans over this. Google, do no harm, right? That's all they've done is harm and censored everyone they can. It's getting worse, folks. Now, I think I've been saying that for a couple years now. It's just begun. It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to last a long time. Get prepared. Have I or have I not said that? These people they're not just evil. They're part of a death cult. I think I'm going to continue to say that. And it's going to get a lot worse. The lights are on. There's food at the store. As long as the lights are on and there's food at the store, guess what? People aren't going to lose their shit. Wait till the lights go out and there's no food at the store. There's no gas at the gas station. You're going to see chaos like you can't believe. Like you cannot believe. Because these people are that fucking deranged. Now, a woman has pled guilty. Of what? She sent a toxin to President Trump. It is a biological weapons violation. This is the loony left, folks. There's no shortage of them. They will kill you. They'll kill anyone they think they can. And they're happy about it. She pleads guilty. She didn't even try and defend herself. They're happy to commit crimes. And that's the point of this. The loony left is happy to commit a crime, and they're willing to sacrifice themselves for their cause. So what is their cause? Their cause, let's just start with kids. They want to groom children. They want to sexualize children. They want to use children as sex toys. That's right. Minor attracted person is what they call it. They want to destroy kids' education. They want to destroy children's bodies, their ability to reproduce in the future. This is just awful. That's what the loony left wants, folks, and they're willing to die for it. They'll steal elections. They're willing to do that. They even told us, lie, cheat, and steal, no problem. They're going to jail more often and more frequently than the news will promote, but not enough to stop it. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. This is not the good news channel, by the way. That's the other channel out there. And then what kills me is there's a lot of news, prepper, survival, world coming to an end type channels. And all they do is read the news stories. They don't give you insights further down the road. I guess I just made up more bullshit and sensationalized it, but I don't have to. I think what I'm talking about with you guys is essentially, it's enough. It really is enough. I mean, you and I have been talking about Washington, D.C. being populated by the most perverted, sick, evil, corrupt bastards everywhere. So Trump comes out today and says, we must clean out the rotten corruption in D.C. Now, again, I thought Trump was doing a good job as president, but yeah, no shit, Mr. President, right? He's talking about the weaponization of the U.S. government. It's like, where were you when you were president? You didn't see that? You have to go in and just clean every fucking bureaucracy out. The FBI, clear it out. Get rid of everybody. CIA, get rid of everybody and start again. IRS, get rid of everybody. BATF, get rid of everybody. EPA, get rid of everybody. Right? There's no reforming these people. Their brains are cancerous clusters of thought. No more bullshit games. And here's the other thing, Mr. Trump. We must clean out in the rotten corruption in D.C. We don't have that authority. You did. You had your chance and you kept hiring them and putting them in your cabinet and putting them in the Attorney General's office and putting them in the FBI. You should have fired all those fuckers. We must clean out the rotten corruption. We can't vote bureaucrats out. You do that as the president. Now, that said, he's running for president again. He is the outstanding leader in the Republican Party. But I want you to understand this. Ronna McDaniel Romney, or whatever the fuck her name is, Mitt Romney's daughter. She is not going to take over the RNC chairmanship again. She's been outed as a rhino, as a dupe, as a tool of the Democrats, as an evil do-gooder, a half-assed charlatan, fucking snake oil saleswoman, POS. Right? But it looks like, folks, that's right, Mr. My Pillow himself, Mike Lindell, looks like he may get elected as the head of the Republican Party. Can you imagine the America First, Make America Great Again support that the party will get by getting rid of Ronna McDaniel, fucking Romney, whatever the hell her name is? Get rid of her. And then, hey, how about this? How about kicking fucking Turtles McConnell, Mitch McConnell in the Senate? You are no longer the leader in the Senate. Get him out of the leadership. Oh, and Kevin McCarthy, what has he really done since he's picked up that seat? Well, he got rid of some of Pelosi's rules. Oh boy, I guess I can celebrate now. I still feel like my nuts are on a chopping block, that any time they can just crush us. They haven't done anything. I mean, today, Biden was out there saying, well, we made some big gains, and now it's time to protect those gains from the evil Make America Great Again. He called them the MAGA crowd in the House of Representatives. They really feel that threatened? I don't feel that they're threatening them enough. I don't feel that enough is being done. There should be impeachments. Schiff shouldn't just be kicked out of the Intelligence Committee. He should be prosecuted. Swallowswell should be prosecuted. Kiplinger, whatever the hell his name is, Adam the loser. How about Liz Cheney? She should be prosecuted for lying. She should be impeached and censored. She should be kicked out of Congress. Oh, wait, she's not there anymore. But the rest of them who are there, they should be kicked out. No Nads Nadler. All of these people. Nads Nadler should be sent back to wherever he and Barney Frank came from. What a strange bunch of fucking ducks there are in Congress that are in Democrat strongholds. That's where the real war is at in our country, folks. Right? Now, what's disgusting and incredible is that the war is being fought in D.C., but it's also being fought all the way down on the street level where we're at. It is unbelievable. No more bullshit games. We need to start firing everyone we can, removing them, eliminating them, period. No more my friends across the aisle. No more, the lifetime hard workers in the federal government. Too fucking bad. You're out of here. That fight hasn't even begun, folks. Now understand the Democrats are equally as perturbed and pissed at us, thinking that we're trying to steal the country and their democracy. They're complete and total fucking liars, and they know it. Right? They know it. But that doesn't mean they're not going to stop fighting. Right? I mean, get this. Congressional loser and liar, Adam Schiff. He's going to run for Senate. He's going to try and get Senator Feinstein's seat in California. So either California selects a Republican senator, or they're going to get what they deserve. A Schiff-head butt pirate, Adam Schiff. Unbelievable. Let's just send this guy up to the Senate, huh? That's a great fucking idea. I mean, the left, folks. These sick, evil, twisted, demented, child-hating, humanity-hating, America-hating crowd. They're retarded. And I don't have to exaggerate. Biden has a judicial nominee. A judicial nominee cannot answer basic questions about the Constitution. Joe Biden wants to nominate more women and people of color, right? So what does he do? He's struggling to find anybody to put up there. So who does he send in? Who does he try and get in there? Judge Charnel Bajek Kengring. There's a fucking name. BJE L-K-E-N-G-R-E-N, Charnel Buck-Kendron. It's unfathomable, folks. She couldn't answer basic questions about the Constitution. Now, here's interesting. This is a judge. This is a lawyer. This is someone who went to law school, and they passed law school and they passed the bar. How stupid can you be and do all that? Well, how about Ketanji Jackson Brown? Well, hell, she was a scrotus winner, right? She got to the Supreme Court of the United States. She couldn't define what a woman is. This is typical Democrat, anti-American shit. Are you surprised? Well, you shouldn't be. You really shouldn't. There's no longer a reason for us to be surprised, right? And this happened today also. It's every single day it's like this. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? At some point, the lights go out. At some point, there's no food. At some point, they run out of fuel. At some point, people are going to lose their shit. You can't keep fucking up as bad as they do and not have consequences where people who work hard and get things done just can't do enough to support the rest of these abject idiots. So in Georgia used to be part of the Bible Belt. Georgia used to be, right, pro-America, pro-freedom. Well, there's a police officer there, a fairly young guy, has resigned because his department put him on leave for opposing gay marriage. This guy said, hey, part of my religious belief system is men shouldn't marry men. It's wrong. And so he felt intimidated. He felt like his officers, his leadership didn't have his back. But get this. I guess it's now get woke or get out. Government cannot command anyone to follow any religion. No religious preference. And folks, woke is a religion. It is anti-God, it is anti-decency, and it is anti-moral. It is. Look at who supports the woke movement. The racists out there who hate whites, right? These sick, perverted fucks who hate normal, heterosexual people. The sick, perverted fucks who don't think children should grow up and naturally be who they are, whatever their biology is between their legs. That's not who they should be. That's what being woke is. Be less white, says Coca-Cola. Well, fuck you, Coke. Yeah, but government cannot. It cannot prefer a religion. But here it is. It's saying you'll have the woke religion or you're gone. This is the destruction of the First Amendment. It's a violation of the First Amendment by the government. Suspending someone, right? Putting them on leave. It's unbelievable. This guy has a major lawsuit, and that department needs to be bitch slapped. And this is, once again, I don't know why a government official can violate someone's rights and they don't go to jail and they don't pay a fine. But if I violate someone's rights, it's a crime and I go to jail and I pay a fine. Jacob Kersey is the young policeman in question. He's 19 years old. Since when does a 19-year-old say, well, I'm a former policeman? 19 years old. All he did was post a 20-word message on Facebook expressing his faith, period. His opinion on gay marriage and his faith. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing criminal about it. It is his religious belief. And it is a belief that has existed for thousands of years. And I thought about that very statement this morning when I was doing my Zero Dark 30 message. The only time what is happening today happens in history is at the absolute zenith of an empire and a culture and a civilization. And then it crashes very hard after that. I mean, growing up, I heard that the Roman Caesar, right, that married his horse, had sex with his sister, and then cut the baby out of her womb with a knife. Caligula, I think was his name. I mean, can you believe how sick and twisted they were? It's like, holy shit. But then you look at today, what are they doing? Look at what they're doing today. There is murder at every step in the big cities, pushing people in front of trains, beating the hell out of people. Period. You don't think shit has hit the fan? I don't know where your head is at. How can you not see it? I'm not celebrating it with glee. Hey, I was right. Shit hit the fan. That's not the point. That's not what I'm about at all. It truly isn't. It's about pointing out what's going on and saying, this is where we're at in history, and this is where we're going. I hope you're prepared. I mean, we have some unbelievable January 6th video, and it shows American patriot Roseanne Boyland. Do you know who she is? Well, the mainstream media and Republicans in Congress, they won't say a fucking word. They won't say her name, Roseanne Boyland. She died, folks, on January 6th on the steps of Congress, and she was beaten to death by the police. It is heartbreaking. It is gut-wrenching, and we have crystal clear video of it now. Where is McCarthy? Where are the Republicans on this? Why aren't they screaming her name, saying she was murdered? Where are they? It is unbelievable, right? It's completely and totally unbelievable. I hope you've got your questions in. I really do. And I'm gonna finish up my monologue section, and then I'm gonna turn the show over to you guys with your questions, your comments, your thoughts, your predictions, etc. The Biden anti-American regime in the White House in Washington, D.C. He is now working, folks, to adapt military artificial intelligence that was used against ISIS. They want to convert this and target Americans who are worried about Jim Jones juice and the elections. They want to target you. They want to find you. They want to set you aside, folks. If they're going to start going and rounding people up, are they going to do snatch and grab? Are they going to knock on your door in the middle of the night? Or are they going to do no-knock raids? I don't know if the government has enough people to pull this off. Or are they just going to harass them? They'll go to your work and tell your boss, hey, this guy, he's not playing along. He's not part of the game. He's not part of our death cult. He's worried about the Jim Jones juice. He doesn't think that Trump lost. You need to get him out of here. If you don't fire John Jacob Smith and Joe Jones, if you don't fire those guys, we're going to shut your business down. Is that how government works? Oh, the fuck it doesn't. Look back at 2020 when they shut businesses down because they wouldn't believe the bullshit. First, they would tag people. Then they would bring the police and arrest business owners who didn't want to shut their businesses down because there was a bunch of fake propaganda and lies about Cerveza bug. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi could go get her fucking hair done. No problem. She got caught doing it. She complained that she was tricked. No prosecution. She should have been impeached and thrown out of office for that. She should have been kicked out of the speakership, if not kicked out of Congress. But nope. Unbelievable. Okay, I tell you what. The Prepared Mind channel.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. All right, man. Hey, we're back again. I hope you're enjoying what you're up to. And we've got David Clinton here. He says, hey, man and John, guess Vegas flag event on hold. I need more details, man. Vegas flag event on hold? I couldn't tell you. I haven't caught that story. I haven't talked to Ronan or anyone else in the Vegas area. But we've got big trouble in this country. Our flag, folks, is no longer the stars and stripes. Our flag is no longer the red, white, and blue. It's no longer Old Glory. No, the flag of America is now the rainbow flag. It is now the gay pride flag. America's flag is now completely and totally desecrated. The value of a flag doesn't matter. Well, it does, right? You can take someone's American flag off their lawn. You can take someone's state flag off their lawn. You can trash it. You can burn it. You can set it on fire. You can steal it. But if you touch a gay flag, that's a hate crime. Does that sound like it makes a bit of fucking sense? No, that's just one little piece, folks. Once again, one little piece. One little piece of what is going on. I mean, we've got a lot to worry about. Now, in California, a judge has issued a preliminary injunction blocking Governor Newsom's Cerveza bug misinformation law. Yeah, there's this thing about free speech and expression. The flag is supposed to be an expression of free speech. Well, if you don't agree with someone else's expression, are you allowed to express? You should be able, right? I should be able to go buy a gay pride flag and burn it. But if I do, it's hate speech. Right? It's not free speech, it's hate speech. When the government starts telling you what you can and can't say, right, we're in big, big trouble. So I'm interested to know what they're doing in Vegas with this flag issue. Okay, man, let's move on. I'll catch my breath there. Breathe, John, breathe. Who do we want to put up? It is the Charlanator. And she said, yesterday I learned that the female principal of the K through 8 school my son went to here in town has her CCL. That's quite interesting. So she has a concealed carry license. By the way, there's a lot of different letters for it, right? Concealed weapons permit. They all mean the same thing, though. It's terrific. I'm glad the female principal at your K through 8 school has her concealed carry license. I think all teachers should. My fear and worry, though, is that since so many of the teachers are a bunch of left-wing lunatics, I'm afraid that one day one of them wouldn't take their daily allotted antidepressant and then turn on their students and start shooting them. I mean, we now have teachers aides physically abusing children because of their vaccine status. We have teachers and teachers aides psychologically battering children over their political beliefs and their religious beliefs. We have teachers and teachers aides sexually abusing children by introducing them to hardcore homosexual pornography, and it's in schools, and they keep pointing it out. You see what they're doing? They're going after the kids, and they're either beating them to their side and beating them down, and I have this personally happen in my own family. This is what they do, folks. This is how they do it. They single people out, and they bully them, and they badger them, and they destroy them if they don't convert. And they're doing it to children, the weakest and most impressionable amongst us. That's who these lefties are. Right? So these same teachers that'll do that, they'll have kids do drag queen pole dancing for them. In secret, though. We don't want anyone else to know. It's just our little secret, right, kids? Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. unbelievable what is going on. I wish there were more good teachers. I know there's good teachers out there, folks. I mean, I grew up through the 70s and 80s, and when I got to the 80s, I realized and started understanding politics and political opinions and the differences between them. And I started to note in getting to 7th grade that certain teachers had certain belief systems that weren't in line with the Constitution, with the history books, with what I knew was right and wrong. And then in high school and then in college, it got even worse. Imagine how bad it is today. Right? I left the educational system. I tried coming back a couple of times, but they are so fucking left, so anti-American, so anti-decent that anything that I tried doing was failed immediately because they knew, they could tell that what I was saying they didn't agree with. I'm surprised I made it through college math without being expelled for being a patriot. I mean, if their question was, how many communists does it take to overthrow a government, multiplied by the number of historical incidences in which this has occurred, I would probably have answered that, well, all communists must die, therefore the number should be 0. Of course, then they would know who I am. Anyways, here we are, folks. We're I don't want to say hip deep in this. I think we're neck deep in SHTF. World War III, it could literally explode into nuclear war like that. The United States government, the president of this country wants to send our superior M1 Abrams tank. And I know a lot of people are like, there's better tanks than that now. They're coming out with better ones. Doesn't matter. Compared to the rest of the world, we're going to send those tanks to a bunch of mind-numbed idiots, a bunch of corrupt fucks. Oh, I had this story yesterday and I never got to it. What story are you saying? That over $100 billion is wound up in the hands of Ukrainian government officials, bureaucrats, etc., and it's been embezzled and stolen. I thought Biden has only given them $105 billion. Are you telling me that we gave $105 billion to Ukraine and only $5 billion of it has been used to fight the war, and the rest of it has been fucking stolen by these people? Well, I don't believe that, because I know at the very least Joe gets his 10%. Joe gets his 10%, right? And let's see, I'm sure Romney gets his cut, and I'm sure Nancy Pelosi gets her cut, and I'm sure Chuck Schumer gets his cut, and I'm sure Mitch McConnell gets his cut, and I'm sure Obama gets his cut. So if they've got $100 billion amongst themselves, then we've sent far more than $105 billion, folks. Double that number. And I'm sure that's how much money has gone to Ukraine. It's unconscionable. It's beyond, folks. It's just beyond. We're neck deep in SHTF. And they want to send tanks. They want to send Patriot missiles. They're openly saying we're at war with Russia. That's Germany, folks. Germany. Just on the other side of Ukraine. You got Russia, Ukraine, and Germany's just a couple more feet away, saying they're at war with them. Oh, I mean, we're visiting World War II again. All right, Uman says, we got more questions up there. We got more comments on statement. It is Cottage Farm checking in. Great to see you, Cottage Farm. She says, Trump is not a good leader of people. He hailed on January 6th, folks, so he's gone. He bailed on them, I think is what you're saying. He should have, as president, in my opinion, he should have pardoned them right then. He should have seen within days that it was a fucking sham attack, that it was a false flag with the FBI right there. I agree totally. Right? He totally. But yeah, he's still the leader in the Republican ticket. He's still the leader. He's saying that we should get rid of everybody and clean house in D.C. We need to drain the swamp. He was the one who was in charge for 4 years. How much draining did he do? I think all he did was stir the swamp, and all the swamp rats and lizards and skunks and everyone else. They rose to the top. We saw them. We see them. Ruby Rod Rosenstein, right? Peter Strzok, right? James Comey, Chris Wray, and once again, Ruby Rod. That's just the FBI. How about the IRS? How about the BATF? How about the Attorney General's office? He brought in that little shit Jeff Sessions, and then he brought in Bill Barr, that big shit. Right? I know that Trump is a good leader, right? That in the right environment with people who believe what he believes, he could lead them to do good things. But he's putting shitty people around himself because that's all Washington has. And so he's trying to lead a bunch of shitheads who will do everything they can to sabotage him, and they did. Right? Peter Navarro of his administration, I have an immense amount of respect for him because of what he did and what has happened to him. Right? General Flynn got railroaded by the FBI. Trump should have been right there and pardoned him instantly and said, this is bullshit. You'll knock it off. He should have fired James Comey. He should have fired Christopher Wray. He should have prosecuted them for treason, for what they did with the bullshit Russia collusion. So, I think Trump tried, but I don't think he's gone far enough. And he did. He bailed on the January 6th Patriots. I'm sure that he must have looked at them and said, "Oh, see, these were bad apples." No, the data, the facts, the information, the video showed the police just going off on these people, and they turned it into a melee. I mean, literally, why would peaceful Americans start causing trouble? You could see the agents provocateurs. There's enough news on it. Yes, Trump, if he was the good leader that we needed, he would have pardoned them instantly. And then the FBI could not touch him. And I believe Ray Epps' name came up before the next president was sworn in. He should have ordered him arrested, right? This guy was clearly provoking people to violence January 5th. And clearly he was committing acts of violence on January 6th, going through barricades, throwing barricades. It's just, the whole thing is tragic. And it is also, pardon me, it's also indicative and reflective of where we're at in the SHTF progress, program, etc. And remember, and please don't ever forget, the Illuminati folks, no matter what name they go by, whether it's the World Economic Forum or the Bilderberg Group, order out of chaos. That's what they want. They want their new world order, and they want to bring it about after the chaos. They want to bring order out of the chaos. Well, they're causing the chaos, and they think they're going to lead the world out of it. By what? Feeding them fucking bugs, taking away their heat in the winter, ruining their health care and their health period with these disgusting vaccines. Right? Have a big, rich glass of satire, right? I know that if Trump gets reelected, folks, if the election, right, if the election were to be honest, we would have more of this.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
Right, we'll get more of that. They hate him. They do hate him, but guess what? Right, there's not enough people in Washington to help Trump. He's got a clean house, period. Okay, Uman, what do we have next? We've got Uman. He said, even if Trump's intentions were good going in, I'm sure he will get the talk, even before the inauguration. Play ball or you get a visit from JFK's barber. I tell you what, I know what you're saying. Getting the talk, being taken out to the woodshed, right? Being shown where the bear shits in the woods. Yeah. Now, I was under the impression that Trump was in a great deal of trouble, a lot of risk during his first term that he would have been whacked. I'm surprised it didn't happen. I really am. I'm surprised there was not an open attempt, even if it was by some stooge, patsy, FBI, mind-controlled, mind-numbed idiot. But if he gets back in, if he gets into the nomination process, wins that, right, becomes the Republican candidate, and then you think there's going to be debating? There has not been a proper presidential debate in decades. The last actual attempts at a debate were what? 2016, when Trump debated the Hillary Clinton robots. I say that tongue in cheek because there was a serious problem with that woman during that woman, if you remember Trump calling her that. I'm sure he'll get the talk, and I wonder if he hasn't already gotten the talk. I wonder what part everyone is playing, man. Are we being honestly screwed over, or are they lying to us while they screw us over? Either way, we're getting screwed over. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. I'm ready for it. Anytime they want to kick it off, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play. Okay, man, where do we want to go next? Who do you want to rack up there? We got Charles Gentry. I want to thank you, Charles, for stepping into the Prepared Mind channel with your intellect. He says, what I see happening to our children truly breaks my heart. This is not what I fought for. Now, interestingly, Charles refers to the children of America as our children. And truly, I understand using that phrase. You know, I have my own children, and soon we'll have grandchild, and I have grandchildren in my life. And when I meet younger adults who have their own families, it warms my heart to see these young people, and they are so full of love and goodness because they're being raised by good, honest, decent, moral parents. And then to know that they're going to go to a public school where some freak and fruitcake is going to convince them to the best of their ability to cut their genitals off. It is truly breaking my heart and making me sick. And this is not what I fought for. This is not what I'm fighting for now. And this is what I don't want to have to fight for. But it is, right? Fighting for freedom and liberty, fighting for goodness and justice. That's what the fight is now, Charles. The fight we fought 10, 20, 30 years ago, that fight is over. Whether whatever degree of victory you may attribute to the fight you fought for, certainly it's not so that kids can be abused. It's not so adults can be abused. It's not so Americans can be denied their rights. It's going to get ugly. And truly, that pedo Hitler in Washington, D.C. at the White House, he is at the top of the shit heap. Okay, thank you, Charles. I got to be careful, right? Got to be a nice guy. Don't want to say too much. All right, man, where do we want to go next? There's a lot of tongue biting going on. There's Cottage Farm again. It says, here's a question. Chase Bank accuses a caregiver of elder abuse fraud. When they can't get her on fraud and initial accusation, they add additional questions 30 days later. How would you react? Well, okay, thank you, man. I'll tell you what, folks. I'll tell you what, Cottage Farm. I do not like big banks. Like any large corporation, they're incredibly powerful and wealthy, and they have lawyers. And they will spend all the money it takes to destroy you or anyone else and to keep your nickels from getting back to you, right? All they have to do is accuse someone of fraud. They don't have to have evidence. There is no hearing on it, right? There's no administration, right? With the government, in order for the government to divest you of property, they have to have evidence of a crime, It has to be a crime. And they have to present that evidence in a court where you can defend yourself and you have access to the discovery, what information they have. When it comes to a bank, right, if they want to accuse anyone of anything, they just say, and now we're going to freeze your funds. I know people who have had this done by Chase. I know people who have had it done by PayPal. Folks, I know people who have had their homes foreclosed on by Wells Fargo, and the home was already paid for. There was no mortgage on it. Yet these banks think they can screw people over, right? And then if you get them into a dialogue, I really think it's a positive thing if they're adding additional questions, right? Because the more they do, the more they communicate with you, the more they do what, right? The more they implicate themselves in their misdeeds. Unfortunately, the reaction I would have would be to take legal action. The really sad part about that is most people don't have the money to go fight the bank. You would have to sue the bank over what they did and win. And you'd have to do that in a court of law. And I'm sure when the court looks down from its high and mighty bench, it's going to see you, average no-name citizen, and Chase Bank or JP Morgan or Wells Fargo or Bank of America. And if you think for a second that there won't be at least an ounce of prejudice against you, right? More like a pound of prejudice. You'll be fighting the whole time. But you would have to win the case and then ask for punitive damages so that not only do you have the funds released, but the bank gets punished for it. I do not like banks, folks. I do not like banks. If I could be my own bank, I would. I keep a minimal amount of cash. That's basically all I have anyways. A minimal amount of cash to pay bills. I don't have a big safe full of cash either. I don't have a pillow full of it. It doesn't. My mattress isn't stuffed with cash. But I don't trust the banks at all. I really don't. It may be advisable to keep an operating bank account and keep no more than $5,000 in separate banks. So at least you're splitting up, right, the liability you face. So if Chase fucks you over, okay, I've got a local credit union that I've got other cash that I can do business out of. See, it's not just that they accuse you of a crime and freeze your funds. It's now you can't pay your bills. Now you can't take, I mean, in this case, if you've been accused of elder abuse, well, you're supposed to be taking care of someone, and now your funds are frozen. And now you can't take care of that person. The bank is actually contributing to the abuse that they think that they're in charge. It's asinine, folks. It really is. It is completely asinine, these banks having that kind of authority. It is not their money. Oh, wait a minute. I take that back. It is their money. Cottage Farm, I'm very sorry that you know of somebody who's dealing with this. And it's so incredible that we're helpless, right? We see our friends, we see family in trouble, and it's hard to help them. Ah, boy. It's tough. It really is. Now, it's come out here. It finally hit. I was told that the video would be dropped on Monday, and it is fucking Thursday, right? 5 ex-Memphis police officers. All 5 of these guys are black. They're charged with being charged with the murder of a black motorist named Tyre Nichols. Right. The officers, and I don't want to name their names, were fired on Friday because this guy died following the violent beating he got. And I'm looking at the picture of Tyre Nichols. Video of the police officer beating. And this is in the mainstream news right now. It's going to be released tomorrow, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. and that's Memphis time. So that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, it'll be 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, understand this, folks. The 5 police officers that beat this guy to fucking death are black. The man who was beaten to death is black. This video is going to be released. And I was given a warning, like I said, last weekend, that it would be Monday. They've held off till Friday. But what does that do? Does that help everything? This weekend, folks, expect BLM to be on the streets. All cops are bastards. They'll be screaming, "We want justice, just us," blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter that the police officers that beat him to death were black. And they're going to release this footage. And I was told that the footage makes Rodney King's beating look like a walk in the park. Right? The Shelby County District Attorney said the actions of these police, right, resulted in the death of Tyre Nichols. And they're all responsible. Well, I'd say this, give them their day in court, charge them, et cetera, right? Now, there was a traffic stop, and the beating that resulted in his death sickened a law enforcement official in Tennessee. Well, I believe it. I do. I believe it sickened him because it's absolutely awful. But I'll tell you what should make people even more sick is that the police, right, allowed these fruitcakes in BLM and Antifa to destroy over $4 billion in property. An untold number of people were murdered. Businesses were looted and then burned to the ground because of St. George Floyd. I wonder if we're going to have some of that. In fact, last weekend, after the Antifa member was killed by the police for allegedly shooting at them, guess what? Right? They had their little riot, and they tried calling it mostly peaceful. It's not going to go away, folks. The stupid will not quit. It really won't. And I've gone a little bit long. I just wanted everyone to hear about this unbelievable stupid that is coming our way. Unbelievable. And you can't fix it with some legislation. You can't do it. Right? Just passing a couple rules isn't going to fix it. The evil that is in government is deeply embedded, and it is very carcinogenic. Are you prepared to deal with this on your street? Are you prepared to deal with food shortages and gas shortages and power outages? Are you prepared to deal with violence? Are you prepared to deal with these perverts out there? And they are, folks. They're sick folks. They're not good. So, yes, get ready. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. I'll see you guys at 0 Dark 30. And then tomorrow night, if you're on the preparedmind.club, guess what? You and Subscribe Star are going to be on the Free for All Friday. So bring your questions. Hell, grab a drink. We may get some action just kick off riots and stupidity while we're live. And I'm sure Man will join us, if at all possible, and keep us informed of any breaking news stories as well. Thank you, Man, very much. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you, well, bright and early at 0 Dark 30.